justices sitting up high in Washington, D.C. are making laws which they have no right to make. Join Richard Nixon live in the Legal Lounge every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time on CRNTalk.com. Richard Nixon's a practicing attorney and noted author, and we talk all things legal, all things constitutional from a strict constructionalist perspective. Join Richard Nixon live in the Legal Lounge every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time on CRN Digital Talk Radio, CRNTalk.com.
Want to build your brand? Get boldly distinctive results with Catalyst Nutraceuticals. Catalyst Nutraceuticals are your full-service specialists for formulating and manufacturing. Let us handle your nutritional supplements. Let Catalyst Nutraceuticals make a difference for your product and brand. Go to catalystnutra.com, CATALYSTNUTRA.com, or call 678-641-9941.
Hi, this is Ron Sedgy, inviting you to join me for The Tonight Show of Radio every Saturday night, 9 to 11 Pacific Standard Time on CRN Digital Talk Radio. Now in our 24th year and well over 19,000 guests, The Ron Sedgy Show live originates from our Universal Radio studios. Celebrities from TV, music, movies, literature, politics, and show business, at one time or another, they all come to The Ron Sedgy Show. So why don't you?
You can try fighting the law all you want, but the law is always going to win. From politicians and celebrities to sports figures and business leaders, they're fighting the law. Now, here to sort out the nation's top legal news stories is America's favorite legal analyst, Royal Oakes. This is the Royal Oakes Show.
Robbing people with a 6-gun. I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won.
Thank you, Mike Horn, and welcome to the Royal Oakes Show. Welcome to our co-host, Ken Jeffries. How you doing, Ken?
What a week. A very quiet news week. Not really.
Pretty exciting this week.
A lot of stuff goes on with the stuff in D.C.
Absolutely. Our millennial correspondent, Connor Oakes. How are you doing, Connor?
Very well. Happy to be here as always. Is there ever been a quiet news week before a Royal Oakes show?
With
Trump in the White House, yeah, exactly.
For the last 2 years, the last 100 shows, there have been big news events. Hey, we want to thank Amir, Eric, and Gail for watching the show. A lot of other folks are climbing on board this train as well, so we love to have our viewers and listeners.
It's the Soul Train, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
And that's Don Cornelius over here. And okay.
So Wednesday I was in for Peter Tilden on KBC, and I met a guy I'd never met before. Thank you. I've heard this fellow on Peter's show, Arnold Steinberg. He's a political analyst. So we had a little extra time for him during the 8 o'clock hour, because you're not going to believe this, guys. We reached out to Norm Macdonald, and he didn't get back to us. I am going to shame
What a slap in the
Norm
face.
Macdonald. I am going to read
Maybe
one
he had
of
a
his,
gig.
Maybe. I'm going to read one of Norm's jokes every single show until he agrees to come on
I like
the
that.
show.
That's
He
good.
wouldn't come on KBC. He's not coming on the podcast. So here's the latest Norm Macdonald joke. Our top story tonight, yippee, Jerry Rubin is dead. Oh, excuse me. That's yippee, Jerry Rubin is dead. I'm sorry. Now, if you remember the Yippies from the 60s, you remember the 60s.
From before I was born, I do remember the Yippies being a severely left anti-war group.
Kind of like Antifa, nihilist.
Right. Yeah. They're basically, they're sort of like, they occupy, they're very different. Yippies were specifically anti-war and anti-Vietnam, but and Antifa.
Tom Hayden. When they're part of the Chicago 7?
Yes,
Hayden?
exactly. So
were you
Jerry
tempted?
Rubin was one of the Chicago 7
I remember.
arrested.
Ken, were you tempted to join the Yippies back then? Thought it was a cool name?
I wasn't a Yippie, and I wasn't a hippie, and I was a dippy, actually. I was pretty dippy.
Exactly.
Like almost like the hippy-dippy weatherman.
Right.
George Carlin.
The strange part is there's another Jerry Rubin who lived in the Los Angeles area. I do not know if he's still alive, but he was also sort of a peacenik.
Oh, really?
There are two Jerry
that's right.
Rubins.
He was an activist, a local activist. I remember that.
And I think he was based in Santa Monica. And again, he still might be alive. I don't know.
It was
so
weird that he also was an activist.
Yeah, when I was at KSWB, when I was an all news radio station in L.A., we had to, in a way, kind of differentiate sometimes between the two of them.
It's weird. It was almost like that guy John Wilkes Booth who lived recently, who was threatening presidents, and people were confused.
So unfortunate
John
for
Wilkes
him
Booth,
that all he wanted to do was live, let live, and threaten presidents, and people confused him with a true presidential assassin, the actual John Wilkes Booth.
Didn't one of your friends, Connor, have a theory about the Lincoln assassination that was a little bit off?
My friend George Miller.
What was his theory?
My theory was that Lincoln didn't actually get assassinated. He just got the wind knocked out of him.
Oh, yeah, I remember that was George Miller's theory. George Miller, Ken, you look perplexed, was a comedian, a personal friend of Dave Letterman.
Actually, I know the name.
Yeah.
I do know the name.
And George was
he's a friend of
Dave's.
yours?
No, not my dad's just joking. I've never met the guy.
He was an acquaintance of mine. I spotted him at a professional billiards tournament. We were both spectating. Neither one of us was invited to play that day.
Billing.
And
we had to have a lot of balls,
him.
too, so
That's
it's
right.
probably didn't.
15 plus the cue.
Right.
So George was on Letterman's show every 3 or 4 months for decades, and he was a good comic. I would say maybe he wasn't a great comic, but the personal relationship with Dave, they both were coming up in the comedy store.
Dave respected
In
it.
the comedy store, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you work, when you are on Letterman 3 or 4 times a year, you are working steadily in the comedy clubs.
Right.
That was his situation. And I bumped into him, very nice guy. And that was his joke, his signature joke that he struggled to get laughs about Lincoln having the wind knocked out of it.
But he liked the joke, and he kept it, and he stuck to his guns, and you know what? I respect that.
So Donald Trump is sticking to his guns. He wants Greenland. When I heard this the other day, I thought, my God, this is the most ridiculous thing in the world. And yet people started saying, well, we got Alaska Territory, we got Hawaii,
Right.
and we got all these other places.
Yep.
Louisiana Purchase.
Right.
I actually heard that Harry Truman, on CNN, they said it, so it's got to be true.
Right.
And it was something about that Harry Truman tried to buy Greenland.
I didn't know that. But, I mean,
Very
what's
weird.
the deal? I mean, literally, because I guess Denmark sort of owns it. It's not. I always thought it was its own country.
No, it's
but
like a protectorate.
When you look at the map, it always said Greenland, but in parentheses it said DEN.
For Denmark, right. So, yeah.
I never noticed that.
Operated,
Or Denver,
administered.
I can't remember.
So is it a
Denmark.
possibility that we could actually write a big check to Denmark and say, look, you can have the Solvang bakeries back too?
Yeah, so
We'll give you a Solvang.
We'll give you Solvang and we get Greenland? Is that conceivable?
the United the United States actually in 1946 made a legitimate actual attempt to buy Greenland from Denmark in 1946, presumably for
That's right. I think it was in escrow and then it dropped out.
Yeah, exactly. So they
something about the termite. They tried to tent the country,
tent the country.
and they found termite damage, and the foundation was damaged so badly that killed the deal. wasn't it?
material term, yeah, totally. So the legitimate offer was for $100 million in gold in 1946 dollars. So if history is a guide and you use inflation, people have said that it would cost at least $1 billion. Now, $1 billion ain't that much. It really
It's
isn't.
1/5 of a wall down on the Mexican
exactly.
border.
I got to
Okay,
tell you,
well,
we got
1/30th,
my
but-
buddy Norman Hallett is watching from Boca Raton, Florida.
Oh,
right now.
hey, how
are
you doing, Norm?
And he said Trump thinks Greenland is green.
Yeah,
So
but-
he probably associates it with money.
Right. Ooh.
Therefore, why not, you know.
The real question is, what would it really do for America to own that land? It costs Greenland, Greenland costs Denmark. Denmark? Yeah, Denmark that operates it.
50,000 citizens.
It costs them billions a year to keep it afloat. They spend money into Greenland. But, I mean, so does Louisiana. Louisiana is a drain on the American economy. Mississippi is a drain on, well, not on the economy, but on the federal government.
We'd have to give Obamacare to all those 50,000 Denmarkians Greenlandians.
Right. I mean, we've got Puerto Rico, which is
Are they
massive
illegal? Would they be U.S. citizens?
I
the people
don't
living
know.
in Greenland?
I haven't seen
the
I haven't
question.
seen the term sheet.
We do have we have an army. We've had an army base there for many years.
Right.
Bob Hope used to go there all the time.
Yeah, so
Really?
what the heck
Yeah.
is the point of annexing or owning more territory? We're not an imperial nation. We don't need it. It's not like the reason that America expanded its empire. We started buying up things like American Samoa and Puerto Rico because in the post-World War II boom, we needed somewhere to ship
bases.
our.
I think,
we wanted
I think it would
bases.
just be a notch in President Trump's gun belt.
Yeah,
well, you know what?
that's true.
But, and why do we have, for instance, we have military bases still in Japan, in Okinawa, for instance. And,
Well, there's a very
and
good
South
reason.
Korea
There's a very good reason for Japan is we literally wrote into their constitution that we effectively put a gun to their head and told them to sign that they're not allowed to have their own standing army, but it was okay because we were going to provide their protection. And so currently, Japan cannot have a standing army. They're not allowed to
Well, if
under
they
their
hadn't
own
attacked us
constitution.
in Pearl Harbor and tried to kill us for 4 years, maybe we would have been nicer
So
to them.
go to the Japanese and say we're pulling out all our military bases and we're not going to provide you military protection anymore. And they're going to go, excuse me, what about the fact that you're still going to say that we can't have a standing army because our constitution says that and that's the
We'd have to
deal.
work that out.
You can't pull support at that point. Plus there are toehold bastions
But I think
in the region.
Trump probably wants to build a hotel.
Oh, of course he
And what is the capital of? Now I can't remember what the capital. Is there a capital of Greenland?
I know Reykjavik is the capital
Thule. Iceland.
of Iceland,
Yeah.
but I don't have any idea.
Is it Thule?
I don't think-
like Thule Fog.
you
What's the
got
point?
me.
What's
You
the
got
point
me.
of asking whether Greenland
All right,
has
so
a
it's
capital? There's
unanimous.
nothing
We're
there.
going to buy
fine.
Greenland. It's going to be great.
Okay.
So did they assassinate Jeffrey Epstein? Our top story tonight yesterday was broken bone.
Yippee, Jeffrey. No.
This is
Yippee.
hyoid bone,
Hyoid.
right about here.
Yeah.
And the news broke early Friday. His a bone in his neck was broken.
Yeah.
And so people are saying, oh, so he was strangled.
Yeah.
And then the experts say, actually, when you hang yourself, sometimes you do break these, especially if you're older. And he was 66. I don't know if that qualifies as older. So then the later word we heard Friday was, return to your homes, nothing to see here.
Right.
And then the medical examiner
examiner
said
says
suicide.
it was
I
suicide.
think you can summarize that, just my opinion, in two initials, BS. I don't know. I think there's...
You think there's some fishy business going on there?
Maybe.
There were a lot of rich and powerful people, I'm sure, who figured they were on surveillance tapes and they were on his list. He's making his list.
He's
and checking it twice,
yeah.
and they're all naughty.
Can I tell you something also? I saw in the New York Post.
Oh, good.
And no, it's
It's a serious newspaper comment.
Apparently, it's legit.
Okay.
That Epstein had a painting of Bill Clinton in a dress,
Yes,
and they
he did.
showed it
In a blue dress, yeah.
Bill Clinton in a
seen it.
Why would they
painting.
do that?
What?
Why would they do that? What sense does that make?
Because
Well,
it showed
it's
what
wearing
bizarre
Lewinsky's dress.
things that Epstein had in his home or something.
Yeah,
like
but I
that.
mean, all right, so Monica Lewinsky had a blue dress. Why would they put Clinton in the
right.
dress?
No specific
I don't-
reason.
I don't
No
know.
specific reason.
just
Okay, I
funny.
want a general
You mean
reason.
to allege the Clintons had Epstein killed? You mean
No. No, look,
maybe?
I mean...
I don't know.
I think...
Very weird, though.
I think the obsession with the conspiracy theory surrounding Epstein is indicative of the fact that people are very easily led down the wrong path. I'm not saying that I have any information about whether there was anything shady or not surrounding Epstein
You don't?
and the terrible situation with the guards and everything else. But Epstein... The real conspiracy theory around Epstein is that he got the most unbelievable sweetheart deal a decade ago and got out and was walking free and committing more crimes even after everybody
So
knew
the government
he was
screwed
a
up
sex
then,
trafficker.
and the government didn't get him. And the only reason they got him this time was the Miami Herald in November 2018 ran a big expose based on first one woman saying, I was raped by this guy when I was a minor, and then 3 more women came forward. So this Miami Herald special, it caused people to re-examine the sweetheart plea deal, and it caused them to reopen. The Manhattan prosecutors, the Department of Justice went after him.
And
So,
as
the
somebody-
government screwed up,
and
or
as a-
at least the newspaper did a good job.
As a wise commentator whose name unfortunately escapes me.
Is this a wise Latina commentator?
Oh, that was a deep cut. It's been a couple of years since the wise Latina comment.
I'm just thinking.
But
I would ask
I
what
don't.
that means, but I'm not sure.
Sonia Sotomayor in her confirmation.
the
hearing
wise
for the
Latina.
Supreme
She said it's
Court-
better to
Wise
have a
Latina,
wise Latina,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
she said I'm a wise Latina, as though I bring perspective to this court, which is probably a good thing. So,
Okay.
We don't want umpires.
No,
we don't want
yeah.
people to call balls
No,
and
we
strikes.
don't. No, that's because that's silly.
We want people to take into account
Nonsense.
the prism of race.
Yeah, everything's context. All right. So the.
By the way,
this
can I
wise
give you a rag
commentator-
to mop up the sarcasm that's dripping
Yeah,
from your... Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
So the wise commentator who pointed out that the combination of privilege and corruption that led to Epstein getting that sweetheart deal is really complemented by what is likely pure ineptitude that allowed him to end up dead. administer our prisons ineptly. We don't care truly about the circumstances of bringing the powerful men who fuck our whole world up.
Oh, we got some.
Good night, everybody.
We got a button. Oh, sure, we got a button. No
who
problem.
Screw our world up. We don't care about bringing them to justice. Yeah. We the administration of bringing those people to justice is over. Like, if we truly cared about the victims of bringing. If we truly cared about bringing Epstein's victims to justice, we would. If we truly cared about bringing Epstein's victims to justice, we would have
a situation where, in general, you're worried about the criminal justice system. Fine. But Epstein was not just your run-of-the-mill prisoner. He was super high profile. So just because in general they're incompetent, there's absolutely no reason to expect that they wouldn't be paying special attention to this guy.
Well, that's my point. You're absolutely right. There's every reason why they would pay special attention to him. And the fact that they didn't, and then he got the run-of-the-mill garbage treatment that we treat all prisoners with, and then he ended up able to kill himself as a result, shows that we didn't really care about making sure he had his victims saw him persecuted or prosecuted.
Don't hold back.
Yeah.
Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk about whether or not George Washington's mural should be scrubbed from San Francisco.
Scrub it!
Stay with us.
No, don't.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show.
This is the Entertainment Answer. The emotional drama Breakthrough is finally available for home viewing. What did actress Chrissy Metz say was at the heart of this film?
The through lines for me were so important, that we're all purposeful, that we're all loved, we all are stronger truly together than we are apart, and that collective consciousness in positive forms, like prayer, is so powerful.
Breakthrough, rated PG-13, now available on digital, 4K, Blu-ray, and DVD. For this Entertainment Answer, I'm Matt Mungle.
Looking for an intimate, romantic getaway? Escape to Maui's premier bed and breakfast, The Plantation Inn, a quiet oasis in the heart of Lahaina town. Guest rooms and suites offer Hawaiian plantation decor, combined with modern amenities, and surrounded a serene courtyard with a pool, jacuzzi, and lush tropical foliage. The inn is located just steps from Lahaina's historic Front Street for an easy stroll to museums, galleries, shops, and restaurants. Call 667-9225 or visit theplantationinn.com and plan your getaway now.
Hello, I'm Fred Dwyer. I've had a MyPillow for 2 years. Before that, I had sleeping problems. Pillows would go flat, I would flip and flop all night, I would wake up with a sore neck and a sore back, and maybe even a headache. Made right here in the United States with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee, there's nothing to lose. For a limited time, go to MyPillow.com and get a 2-pack of MyPillow Premiums for just $69.98. That's only $34.99 per pillow. And it's only available at MyPillow.com when you use the promo code WINNER. That's 2 premium pillows, just $69.98 with the promo code WINNER at MyPillow.com or call 800-513-3363. That's 800-513-3363 or MyPillow.com promo code WINNER for a fantastic offer.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
CRN listeners, when you come to Southern California, stop by a great restaurant, the Dresden Restaurant at 1760 North Vermont Avenue in Hollywood. Enjoy great entertainment, like the music of the legendary Marty and Elaine at the world-famous Dresden Restaurant. The Dresden was a location for the making of the movie Swingers. Now you can swing with stars Marty and Elaine. Plus, enjoy great food, too, like French onion soup, artichoke hearts, and many other great appetizers. Seafood, there's salmon, shrimp scampi, New Zealand orange roughy, halibut, Lake Superior whitefish, and specialties like veal, marsala, piccata, and parmigiana. Plus, we've got a great roast rack of lamb, chicken piccata, and cordon bleu, and pasta dishes, too. Steaks, filet, New York, Chateaubriand for 2. Much more, too, including pork chops, prime rib of beef, and an incredibly extra large cut of prime rib. It's the Dresden Restaurant, open for lunch Monday through Saturday and dinner Monday through Sunday. Check us out at 1760 North Vermont Avenue or call 323-665-4294.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries and our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. So, Ken, we got some stuff watching here.
Randy Thomas is watching right now, as best we know. Randy Thomas is the voice of the Oscars, and she's done it for many years.
Thanks for joining us.
She's a great. She did mornings years ago at the Wave 94.7.
Oh, she's an incredible talent. I've seen her in documentaries, but I will ask.
She's a mensch. She's a real mensch, and she'll understand what that means.
Since you're watching, maybe I'll just direct a question because I've always been. Don't you feel guilty about getting paid a lot of money just for sitting there talking? I mean,
voiceover.
To me,
it's just talking.
It seems like shovel and coal or something.
Right.
You pay those people.
It's just sitting here talking.
Yeah,
I mean, they're talking.
Inventing a polio vaccine, but
maybe
sitting and talking. No. Is there some guilt, Randy? Although you're the best at it, I will grant you that.
Wow.
Okay.
He says from his cushy broadcaster chair.
I don't know how cushy this is. Okay, it is.
By the way, we do have a military base in Greenland, and
hooray!
Cool. All right. Let me ask a trivia question before we get back to our topics. Did I commit a malapropism earlier in this show?
Ooh, I love malapropisms.
Do you think I did? Does one jump to mind? I said, well, that would put another notch on Donald Trump's gun belt.
Yeah.
Now, is that right, or do you put notches on the gun, not the gun belt?
Oh, okay. Well, no. You have notches on your belt. You have notches on your bedpost. You don't put notches on the gun. No. Yeah.
You eat nachos when you're hungry.
I'm not sure.
Salsa, maybe.
Thanks for keeping it on a high plane, Ken. Here we are trying to dissect malapropisms, and you're making jokes.
I took it to bedpost notches, so I already brought us down.
I think maybe. I think it's not.
You've already done. By the way, you've already done enough to lower the
level of
dialogue of this show. Yeah.
I think it's notches on the gun, and of course the irony is, if you were really, really good after enough notches, then your gun really wouldn't work properly.
No, just notch the barrel and close your hand.
San Francisco mural up. It features George Washington. Aww. He's standing there heroically at his farm, and there are some slaves in the background working the fields. And so people have said, we do not like that. And so we're going to, at first they were going to whitewash it. They were going to blow it up or paint over it or something. And then somebody said, no, let's cover it with wood. And on the wood, we'll paint a new mural. And that's what they're doing, a more progressive, up-to-date, politically correct mural.
What?
I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do, but it's not going to be George Washington with slaves. I'm confident of that. And it won't be Thomas Jefferson either.
They're only covering part of it, right? They're leaving.
No, the entire George Washington thing is gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not just going to show George with his wig and cover up the slaves. So the question is this the right thing to do? I get that we want to get rid of the symbol of the South, the bars and stars, and the thing that you would see on the bumper sticker on the Dukes of Hazzard car.
Yeah.
That is a symbol of slavery. Yeah. Is it really a symbol of slavery, though, to depict our first president on his farm?
The big difference is between history books and museums even, and murals and statues. You've got statues and monuments, Confederate statues and monuments, and murals are sort of on the edge there that a lot of people, myself included, would put in the statues and monuments category. Those are not how we depict history. Those are how we glorify elements of history that we're proud of, that we want to talk about.
It's a work of art and not necessarily history.
Right. If you're talking about burning books, don't burn the books that depict Washington with slaves. Don't forget that it happened, and don't pretend that it didn't happen, or try to sort of erase it from history because you're ashamed of it. Either way, it's bad, and you shouldn't be allowed to do that. But monuments and statues and murals are all, I think, in a different category where we have to think: is the image of something that we all walk past every day, that we literally look up to, that we admire as a work of art? Do we want to see that as like glorifying something that we're not proud of?
Well, what about Huckleberry Finn? Considered the finest novel in American history by an American author. Yeah. The N-word is in there. Yes. A lot of people have said, let's ban it. Let's redact the words that we find totally offensive.
Right.
And most people say, no, that's part of the art world, literature.
Right.
Why isn't the mural part of the art world? There's no intent to glorify slavery by depicting Washington with the slaves in the background.
Well, that's debatable. I think that the idea that you're glorifying this person and in his position of ultimate white privilege.
Do you think anybody looks at that mural and says, I was a little conflicted about slavery. I was kind of against it, but having seen the glorification of slavery in the Washington mural, doggone it, now I'm in favor of slavery.
What?
Does anybody react
and here's
that
the other
way?
thing. Did he really chop down a cherry tree and say, I cannot tell a lie?
But he threw that silver dollar.
Yeah.
He skipped it across the Potomac.
You know what?
14 skips, and he made it.
Yeah. No, I think there is a difference, and I think there's a difference with Huck Finn. Huck Finn is not glorifying the institution of slavery. In fact, there are many elements in Huck Finn where the characters or the themes of the story are very critical of slavery. And that's different than a book like Uncle Tom's Cabin, I would say, where we recognize that that's not part of the amazing literary canon. It's merely a historical artifact that we can reference and talk about and use in context to teach people history. These are different things. I think a statue, a monument, and a mural are different than a book, period. History book or fiction.
Abraham Lincoln said that book caused the Civil War. All right, when we come back, death threats against Mitch McConnell. How low can we go?
Yeah.
Stick with us.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show. Is getting a full night's rest a struggle because your sheets won't stay in place? Do your sheets make you hot at night, causing you to toss and turn? I've been there, but not anymore. Thanks to MyPillow's Giza cotton sheets, I'm getting a full night's rest without the hassle of fixing my sheets. Giza cotton sheets by MyPillow are made with the world's best cotton. It's called Giza, G-I-Z-A. It's grown only in a small area near the Mediterranean Sea. Its cotton is so super smooth and breathable, and they're extremely durable, made with deep pockets that'll fit over any bed. And just like those MyPillows we love so much, our Giza sheets are made right here in the USA with 100% machine washable and dryable cotton. Go to MyPillow.com and order your Giza sheets today and receive 30% off and free shipping when you use the promo code WINNER. That's right, free. That's MyPillow.com and promo code WINNER. Get yours today. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code WINNER. Hi, everybody. Michael Horn from CRNTalk.com. We provide you with the best in talk radio. 8 channels of talk radio, from radio on the left, radio on the right, sports talk, business talk, religious talk, Spanish talk, you name it, we've got talk radio for you. All at CRNTalk.com. Well, now we'll bring you video as well as audio. That's right. Watch your favorite shows like The Robert Conrad Show, The Fred Dreyer Program, What's Cooking Today, What's Cooking on Wine, The Lounge, and so many other shows in video right at our website, CRNTalk.com. You can also watch us on Roku. Just search CRN Talk, and you can watch us on Roku on any TV anywhere in the world. Also on Facebook Live. Go to Facebook.com/CRN Digital Talk. Facebook.com/CRN Digital Talk. Roku, search CRN Talk. Check us out on Tiki Live and at CRNTalk.com. Video for you talk fans, all from CRN Talk. CRN listeners, when you come to Southern California, stop by a great restaurant, the Dresden Restaurant at 1760 North Vermont Avenue in Hollywood. Enjoy great entertainment, like the music of the legendary Marty and Elaine at the world-famous Dresden Restaurant. The Dresden was a location for the making of the movie Swingers. Now you can swing with stars Marty and Elaine. Plus, enjoy great food, too, like French onion soup, artichoke hearts, and many other great appetizers. Seafood, there's salmon, shrimp scampi, New Zealand orange roughy, halibut, Lake Superior whitefish, and specialties like veal marsala, piccata, and parmigiana. Plus, we've got a great roast rack of lamb, chicken piccata, and cordon bleu, and pasta dishes, too. Steaks, filet, New York, Chateaubriand for 2. Much more, too, including pork chops, prime rib of beef, and an incredibly extra large cut of prime rib. It's the Dresden Restaurant, open for lunch Monday through Saturday and dinner Monday through Sunday. Check us out at 1760 North Vermont Avenue or call 323-665-4294.
Hi everyone, this is Fred Dreyer telling you about my favorite Italian restaurant. It's Angelo's and Vinci's in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's has the best pasta, the best seafood, the best salad, spaghetti, lasagna, and the most incredible pizza. And the chicken is delicious. Marsala, piccata, cacciatore, parmigiana, and more. For desserts, try our spumoni or our tiramisu, my favorite, flown in fresh from Italy. And the cannolis and the zappolis are out of this world. Open for lunch and dinner. And don't miss the Sunday champagne brunch. Just $23.95. Are you kidding me? It's all up the road from Disneyland at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's, like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. Call 714-879-4022 or visit us online at angeloandvinci's.com.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries and our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. Yo. So, my gosh, school opening up next week or so.
Yeah, I just want to
LA kids are coming back, and the vaccine issue is still on the front burner.
Yeah, there are more doctors apparently who are being, I guess, pressured or giving illegal medical exemptions. And my wife's a school nurse for LA Unified, but she urges you, if you have a kid in LA Unified or anywhere, get your shot, get your shots, and make sure your kid has the shots. More importantly, get your shots. Vaccinations work, and if you've heard otherwise, you're wrong.
What is with these doctors who apparently are? It's illegal for them to be granting the exemption
on the wrong basis. I mean, they're granting an exemption where one does not need to be granted, and this is a problem because at every single point of interaction with the medical system, you've got individuals who are able to exert influence on a doctor and make them make a bad decision. You've got opioid addiction that is the result of both overprescription and pushing these drugs on doctors by big companies, but those are individual sales reps sometimes going to doctors and pressuring them.
Yeah,
you got individual parents saying to their doctors, my kid is on the edge. I think my kid is close enough.
I wonder if
needs an exemption. And they're vulnerable and fragile, and they shouldn't get the vaccine for some specific reason. And so put me into that category. And it's really hard to say no to a parent, probably, who's that fired up about it and that worried. If you can't convince them, then you might think, oh, no harm, and just
then the parent has to homeschool the kid, and then it's a whole other thing, I guess. But then you're still subjecting the general population to your kids not being vaccinated. And
we got a measles outbreak in Orange County down where I live. Every time I make a doctor's appointment, they say, if you have a rash, you have a cough, you have to tell us you have to wear a mask all the time. I don't want measles by walking through a train station where somebody with measles walked through 2 hours previous. No coughing, no sneezing, just being in the room.
We get these warnings from LAS now on
the vaccine.
When I do the news on KABC, and that we get occasional bulletins from the health department saying, somebody walked through LAX last week, and there's the times and make sure you get checked for measles.
You know what's ironic?
Get vaccinated, okay?
It's so weird to me. Jenny McCarthy, I agree with her on string theory, cold fusion, and climate change, but I disagree with her on vaccines.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, she is right on when it comes to string theory.
Smart.
I was confused until I read her abstracts.
Right.
In other words, why are we listening to celebrities? They're beautiful. They sing fabulously. But why would we listen to Leonardo DiCaprio spoke to the General Assembly of the United Nations on climate change. Now, I loved him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I've seen it 3 times.
Very good.
Leo was fabulous, and Brad Pitt was incredible. Why do we listen to celebrities when it comes to technical scientific subjects?
You're absolutely right. Now there's a difference between a celebrity who's spouting off as though they know things and are the authority themselves, as opposed to a celebrity using their celebrity to just bring attention to a cause. You get George Clooney helping out his wife, who's amazing in her own right and ought to be a celebrity, but isn't, to talk about the plight of children all over the world, and that's a really valuable use of George Clooney's star power. And I think Leo addressing the UN General Assembly is a valuable use of his star power to bring attention to something.
Well, if he happens to be right, but we have no idea if he's right.
We certainly do.
He didn't study climate change at Harvard.
But he's not saying, look, I know that vaccines cause autism, like Jenny McCarthy is getting up there going, look, I know this because I've talked to people.
He's saying, I know what to do about climate change.
He absolutely is. He's saying you need to take drastic
And how do you like those? They go to climate summits, right? This is some celebrities go to climate summits, but they jet over there and screw up the environment.
I love the fact that Al Gore gets up there and says, the debate is over. It's really over. I'd like to tell you more, but my jet's warming up on the tarmac, and I'm going to use up more carbon to get across the country, just me and Tipper in the private jet. I don't know why he sounds like Gomer Pyle and Forrest Gump.
Yeah, it comes out of your mouth like that. I don't understand it.
Look, the difference is that unlike with vaccines, the debate is over with climate change. The vast majority of climate scientists, all of the ones who aren't in the pocket of big conservative
the debate is over. Why are you still talking?
And this might be why President Trump is interested in buying Greenland, because if the ice is melting, we put condos and stuff up there.
Oh, I like that idea.
Right? Smart. It's got to work with climate change, not against it.
So
work against it, people. Come on.
Mitch McConnell. We are absolutely at the end of civility in this civilization.
Yes.
He tried to post on Twitter a video of protesters screaming obscenities outside his home.
Right.
They're yelling, he should have broken his little raggedy, wrinkled, blank neck, just stabbed the blanker in the heart. Someone also yells, die. So
not great.
Civility is gone.
That's bad.
I mean, I don't know what
McConnell
you think.
posted this, or his campaign, or whatever.
His campaign, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, and Twitter backed off. At first they said, oh no, we're not going to allow that up. And I'm thinking, really? If a left-wing person posted a video of some maniac on the extreme right threatening a left-wing person, do you think Twitter would have kept that off? I don't think so, but they kept it off. But then they reversed themselves, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the McConnell thing. I think they did. I think they did is right. It segues into the Fredo Chris Cuomo thing.
Yes.
Because Chris Cuomo was bothered. I think Chris Cuomo was, and it may have been McConnell was set up too. I mean, he was. If protesters gather outside your house, that's kind of a setup. And it works the other way too. Of course, Chris Cuomo was probably set up. He was eating dinner with his wife and kids at a Long Island restaurant. I get to say Long Island on the air.
Long Island.
Division Avenue High School. Shout out. My alma mater. Okay, but anyway, Levittown.
Awesome. Long Island.
The guy came up to him and called him Fredo, right? Mm-hmm. The weak brother and the Godfather.
Yeah, I saw the video. And Governor Cuomo was there in his baseball cap.
He overreacted, but how would you like to be a guy? A guy, you're having dinner with your wife and kids, and a guy's coming up to you, presumably his iPhone the camera's rolling in the iPhone and all of that stuff, and you're being recorded.
But Fredo is not the N-word, and Cuomo said it was like the N-word to Italian Americans.
I know.
But it's not true, because we're saying Fredo, and we're not getting fired from the station.
Right.
If we said the N-word, we'd get fired.
No,
so it's not the N-word.
Well, that's because you can't compare the plight of African Americans.
Well, he was saying, for us in the Italian American community, Fredo is the equivalent
of the N-word. Chris Cuomo get fired from CNN for overreacting
I think the ratings
and threatening
will go
to kill
up.
the guy and blah, blah, blah?
It's an inelegant analogy.
Yeah, he threatened to throw the guy down the stairs.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it.
And so it was weird because he was acting like a mafioso type guy when he threatened to throw somebody down the stairs for using the word Fredo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He definitely shouldn't have reacted the way he did.
Well, I had to react years ago when I was a younger reporter, and I had a cassette machine in the old days, and I wanted to interview Ron Say of the Dodgers. Used to play third base of the Dodgers.
Right, number 10.
Number 10, the Penguin and all that great player. And I went up to him, and I could tell I instantly annoyed him because he was eating dinner. And
so you're like a paparazzo.
It was at a banquet actually, and all of that. And Vin Scully was there. It was baseball related. Sparky Anderson was there. But he said to me, "Look, I'm eating now. I will talk to you when I'm done." Mm-hmm. And he was right. He was and he did. He came over, a very nice man, and
nice.
but. He was absolutely right. And as a young reporter at the time, I learned you don't interrupt people while they're eating.
Yeah.
So in terms of the death of civility, these people threatening Mitch McConnell,
right.
There was also the Kamala Harris incident recently. She wasn't quite like Johnny Depp talking about the idea of killing Trump. Remember, he was speaking to a symposium and he said, hey, didn't an actor kill Lincoln? Yuck, yuck. And Madonna, of course, was talking about wanting to blow up the White House, and we won't have to go to Kathy Griffin holding up Trump's severed head, fake head. So Kamala Harris was sitting on the Ellen show. Ellen DeGeneres asks her, well, this will be a fun question for you, Kamala. Who would you rather be stuck in the elevator with, Donald Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeffrey Sessions? And so Kamala thinks about it in a second and says, does one of us have to come out alive? And so people were thinking, should you really be making jokes about the death of the president, you having a cage fight match with Donald Trump in an elevator? I'm not sure who I'd bet on in this. but I mean...
Well, Trump himself took part in a WWE match years ago with Vince McMahon.
Yes, I saw that. I think it was fixed.
You think it was
what?
Yeah, Trump was actually the winner.
Wow.
But I don't know if Kamala should get into a match with
that was
Trump.
That was not a great joke. But at the same time, it wasn't the same as joking about an assassination. It was a joke about a sort of a free-for-all brawl between her and three people she doesn't like trapped in an elevator. She wasn't really saying that she hoped. It's not like she was going wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I sure hope somebody causes someone else harm. It was more like a, wow, you put me in a fight with these, like, in an elevator with these three people. We're going to get into a physical altercation.
Right.
And yeah, she said, well, would one of us come out alive? But that's not a threat. That's not even a joke about a threat of violence. It's a joke about a fight that would be like a mutual battle.
A fight between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris.
Yeah, this is not the same as somebody joking about an assassination.
And Kathy Griffin with the Trump head. Remember that soaking
I remember
fake
that.
blood? And all that kind of
Nobody
stuff?
could forget that.
Yeah.
What about the donor shaming thing we've seen in the last couple of weeks? Castro, the guy running for president from Texas.
Julian Castro, yeah.
I didn't mean Fidel.
Right.
He posts online, I guess, a list of Trump donors. And actually, to NBC's credit, they were interviewing Castro, and the anchor says, what do you think about this? Don't you think there might be some negative repercussions? And Castro said, well, I don't want anybody harassed or targeted. And the anchor said, well, they will be because you put their names in public. So it's kind of like Maxine Waters, I think. Surround them, harass them, tell them they're not welcome here. Isn't this the inevitable result of lack of civility? I mean, oh my God, this is an existential threat, and therefore chaos and violence and so on are justified.
Well, hold on. It's not uncivil to point out that somebody donated money to somebody who is morally reprehensible and is a bad person.
That's the whole point. You're saying these people are morally reprehensible, whether it's a big company or individual folks.
If you had a list of people whose names who were donors to the American Nazi Party, and I would want to publish it. I know that those people
you're not equating Trump and the American Nazi
I am
Party.
equating that. Camera, take a clip, snapshot right here. I'm equating it. Trump and the American Nazi Party.
Camera, for the record, 60 million Americans voted for Donald Trump. So I think it's hard to equate him with the American
I'd be careful when you start your car on the way out tonight.
Is he a Nazi? No. Is he as bad as somebody who's rounding people up? No. Except he is creating concentration camps on the border. But okay. So I'm equating them because they have things in common with one another. And I think donating to one of them is as public as donating to the other. And people should experience the blowback that their public speech has. If you want the right to donate, and that's your free speech, and money is speech, and Citizens United, then you can receive pushback in public for the statements you make and the checks you write. So publish it. The New York Times published every single donor to the Clinton Foundation, down to people who donated $1 to the Clinton Foundation, got published in the New York Times.
But that was to give them positive publicity.
No,
right?
It was not. Absolutely.
They love those people.
It absolutely was not. And you know what? If it goes that way, it goes the other way. And we all should face the repercussions of the statements we make. Like when I go on camera and say, Donald Trump is just as bad as a Nazi. I didn't say that.
Why would the New York Times think it was bad to donate to the Clinton Foundation?
Because there were so many. Well, that's the problem, is they put it out there as this big scary thing, like, look at all these people who donated to the Clinton Foundation, as though that was bad or evil, because there were implications associated with that. The Clinton Foundation apparently misused funds at some point and was accused of that, and then it was exonerated of that and was accused of it again.
Or a pay-for-play kind of thing. Right. You give us $50,000 and we'll influence the Democratic administration to help.
Right.
But that didn't affect the great majority of donors.
And this doesn't even, correct, but they published every name anyway, because it's public information regardless. You put that out there, you make a donation to a public figure.
It is public information, and I know a guy, and I won't mention his name, but he's a kind of a well-known DJ, and he thought he got into trouble for donating to a campaign, not a presidential campaign, and it came out it was publicized, and he had to go to his boss and say, well, it's just a separate thing from the radio station and all that.
If you have to, that's a real problem with connections to your job and all the rest. If you are ashamed of the people that you're giving money to in politics, you should be ashamed publicly.
So you can make an argument for publishing stuff.
I just did.
But the fact is, this is part of the overall complex of lack of civility. We have gone from a situation in the 50s, 70s, 90s, where you have very strong opinions. You have people who hated Nixon. You have people who hated Clinton and so on. But everybody kind of worked together, and you didn't feel that the other side was the personification of evil. And it seems like that's where we
you
have
know what?
moved.
And this is really
and what Trump represents is a very weird narcissistic personality that I think has caused Trump derangement syndrome. He's not that much different from other Republicans, conservative Republicans. It's just that he's somebody that you want to hate, and as a result, people, their heads are exploding, and they're not working together.
But he does it himself. He's easy to hate.
Well, sure he is.
Because he does it, like I said, because he does it himself.
Trump is absolutely.
He tells people at the rally they had the other day, he said something like, you're going to have to vote for me.
Yeah.
If you don't vote for me, we're going to have a stock market crash.
Yeah. I mean, Trump is absolutely like categorically different and worse than other Republicans. Yeah, the Republican Party is bad and I don't like him. But Trump is a whole different breed. He is a totally different type of person.
Isn't it his superficial personality flaws that you're reacting to, not his public policies?
I'm reacting to him building concentration camps at the border. I'm reacting to him calling Mexicans rapists and murderers.
Obama
I'm reacting
deported a bunch of folks.
I'm reacting to him calling African countries s-hole countries. I'm reacting to him disgracing.
Good of you holding back and not using
once in my life, right?
It's a shock, but it's good of you.
I'm reacting to him creating and fostering and spreading birtherism, which is like one of the most racist things that has happened in recent American political imagination since like basically segregation. I'm reacting to him doing all of these explicitly, socially, completely unacceptable and anti-progressive things, like the progression of society. Like he is regressed society. The way he treated the Central Park Five, all the way to today. There's no. It's an.
He called for the death penalty for the Central Park 5 years ago.
Even after they were exonerated.
In terms of the substantive impact of the Trump era on the American public generally, I just don't see a dime's worth of difference between him and Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon.
You're right. Ronald Reagan was also extremely racist.
The reaction is absolutely off the charts. Not as demonstrated by anything that we've seen on this show, mind you, but just in general. So it's good that we've had this talk because I think we can all take a deep breath.
Connor, is this better than therapy for you? I don't know why.
It's cheaper.
Your head exploded.
I'll say that. Yeah. So when we come back, we're going to talk about something called disgrace insurance. Disgrace insurance.
We're going to need it for this show.
Where if you have an employee and you're kind of worried that they might do something dubious or sketchy, you buy an insurance policy and then, it's like a movie star, instead of breaking their arm and having insurance,
they Kevin Spacey themselves.
Yeah, they Kevin Spacey themselves. And we're going to figure out which of the members of our panel we're going to buy disgrace insurance on, or language insurance. Stick with us.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show.
Savor the past and savor the glory days of Las Vegas. Enjoy 70 years of true Las Vegas history as 4 generations of family wait to greet you at the legendary Bootlegger Italian Bistro. Wine, dine, and experience Mama Maria's award-winning original recipes while surrounded by original family photos and celebrity memorabilia. Enjoy piano artistry nightly with music from the Great American Songbook in our main formal dining room. The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, open 24/7, 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard South, in the entertainment capital of the world. The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard South, in the entertainment capital of the world. It's Vegas, baby.
This is the Entertainment Answer. What other films are taking on the live-action Lion King in theaters this week? None. Who would even try? Like it or not, these live-action remakes just aren't going away. Families can also look for Breakthrough now on all home formats, as well as Shazam for your older viewers. Plus, several other solid films are still going strong in theaters, including Toy Story 4 and Spider-Man Far From Home. Certainly a lot to keep your summer sizzling. For this Entertainment Answer, I'm Matt Mungle.
Hello, I'm Fred Dwyer. I've had a MyPillow for 2 years. Before that, I had sleeping problems. Pillows would go flat, I would flip and flop all night, I would wake up with a sore neck and a sore back, and maybe even a headache. Made right here in the United States with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee, there's nothing to lose. For a limited time, go to MyPillow.com and get a 2-pack of MyPillow Premiums for just $69.98. That's only $34.99 per pillow. And it's only available at MyPillow.com when you use the promo code WINNER. That's 2 premium pillows, just $69.98 with the promo code WINNER at MyPillow.com, or call 800-513-3363. That's 800-513-3363 or MyPillow.com promo code WINNER for a fantastic offer.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Want to build your brand? Get boldly distinctive results with Catalyst Nutraceuticals. Catalyst Nutraceuticals are your full-service specialists for formulating and manufacturing. Let us handle your nutritional supplements. Let Catalyst Nutraceuticals make a difference for your product and brand. Go to catalystnutra.com, CATALYSTNUTRA.com, or call 678-641-9941.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries and our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. We're going to get to Disgrace Insurance in a second, but big story this week. Ms. Tlaib, one of the squad members, I guess she's a Democrat congresswoman from, is it Minnesota?
Minnesota, yeah.
Is it okay for me to say congresswoman, or do I need to clean that up?
Democratic, I think, was the only error in that statement.
Okay.
Democrat.
So, fair.
Trump has somehow converted everyone from.
Oh, she's not a Democrat?
She is. No, she is.
Okay.
Yeah, but he calls it the Democrat
He says, the Democrat primary, the Democrat debate. He's got this weird.
The technical name is Democrat. It's not Democratic.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe I'm wrong. All right.
It's not the Republicanic Party.
So Tlaib wants to go to Israel, and Israel, but Netanyahu says no.
Bibi Netanyahu.
So and there
Trump
was some back and forth. I guess my question is, I know that we generally want to admit people to the United States without discriminating against political views,
right.
but Israel's in a kind of a special situation. I mean, basically, they're surrounded by hundreds of millions of people who want to kill them. So maybe you have to cut them some slack, and if they don't want somebody who they think really doesn't believe in the existence of Israel, maybe they should be able to say no to her?
Rashida Tlaib does not believe in the existence of Israel. She just
put her on a polygraph, and we might find out
She supports a two-state...
Palestine.
Right. She supports a two-state solution. She thinks that the Israelis are occupying the West Bank, which they are.
Isn't she the one that they're persecuting thinking about the Holocaust gave her a warm feeling?
No, she...
Who was that? Isn't that Tlaib?
What's that?
Who said 3 or 4 months ago?
That whole warm feeling thing was completely taken out of context and did not mean that at all. Tlaib
gave her a really warm feeling in the ovens, maybe.
Well, it gave her a warm feeling in the sense that the Palestinian people had some positive role that she was thinking of.
Right.
But it was so thoughtless to Jews to say anything remotely, conceivably positive about the Holocaust as, it gave me a warm feeling because of the Palestinian involvement. How about just not going there and recognizing that 6 million people were killed?
So how about we don't go there? She is not, and get back to the Israeli trip, because she is not there to spout anti-Israeli rhetoric about the existence of Israel. She doesn't support Iran and their desire to blow them off the map, basically. She's literally going there to visit her 90-year-old grandmother who lives in Palestine.
She did promise, supposedly, not to say anything bad about Israel when she was there.
Agreed to a bunch of restrictions on her trip to go to Israel. She said to Israel, I'll accept your conditions and go to Israel.
I think on the letterhead,
then Trump sends out a tweet saying, Bibi Netanyahu and Israel would look weak if they let her in, because Trump wants to make her more and more famous because he thinks that she's a good punching bag for his idea of who the Democrats should be.
He wants to make the entire Democratic Party anti-Semitic in the eyes of Republicans, in the eyes of everybody. That's his goal.
Yeah. And so he uses this, and then Netanyahu caves, gives in to Trump, changes the deal, and says, now you can't come at all. They get a bunch of pushback, and they offer, okay, well, you can come, but we control where and when you go and who you talk to and the rest. And she said, I'm not doing it under these new and even worse conditions. So then she
instantly becomes martyr.
Right. Exactly.
In a way.
And it's true. He completely caved to Trump.
Can I just say something? Yeah. I think Israel should have let her in, of
course,
and should have said, to Trump, let's bring her in and show her the beauty of Israel, the beauty of our government, the Knesset. Seriously,
sure.
How we let Arabs and Jews live side by side. Arabs, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong,
Israel
have citizenship in Israel, I believe.
Israel has built
that they treat people with respect. And that Palestinians some of these Palestinians want to see Israel wiped off the map, and they lob rockets into Israel.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
There are many Palestinians who wish harm upon Israel and actively commit harm against Israel.
Maybe if they let her in.
But Palestine is also the world's largest prison camp. So, I mean, no side has clean
hands. So now that we're
hands.
totally agreed on that, let's talk about disgrace insurance, financial protection for celebrity public scandals, from drunk driving arrest to racist tweets, or a crime as unpredictable as the college admission scandal, up to $2 million in coverage. So what do you think, guys? If we were to pool our money and pay the premium, buy a policy of disgrace insurance on you, Ken, or you, Connor, or me, who do you think needs it the most?
I definitely need it the most.
Really?
I'm the one making the inflammatory statements. I think you two have a much more measured approach to the discussion. But, you know, I can see...
All right, it's settled. We're going to buy coverage on you.
I need it.
It's a deal. All right, folks, you have a great week. We'll see you next time on The Royal Oak Show.
Which was most important because that was your theme.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio shows sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more. Entertainment and lifestyle programming like The Robert Conrad Show, The What's Cooking Show, and The What's Cooking on Wine Show, all in true CRN HD audio. Sports, business, travel, food, wine, politics, there is something for everyone, and it's all available in CRN High Definition Sound. Log on to www.crntalk for listings and information on all your favorite shows. That's www.